This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.
Hey, what is up, everyone? It is Julian Moffit back with another episode of NOBULL. Got my little homie Fendi with me right here, trying to bite my fingers off. We just been on a little hiatus for the past 2 weeks, trying to decompress and everything, but I've still been staying up on current events for you. We're going to get into basically where we are right now, which seems like we're at a point of critical mass in this presidency right before the midterms. So Fendi is going to go off. I'm going to be off camera. If you hear a little kind of, stuff going on in the background, that might be him. So stay tuned, and we're going to get right into everything that we've had going on. Woo! All right, everyone. So I'm going to try to make this quick. Basically, I kind of want to take a step back from the ridiculous news cycle that continues to spin on along with this presidency. If you're dead inside of it, then it kind of seems like the wheels are falling off and we don't necessarily know what's going on. One thing I do want to say, though, is that if we're looking at the course of events that's happening right now, it's kind of easy to figure out where things are going. The things that are extremely perilous for this president right now are A, the Mueller investigation that has to deal with possible Russian collusion and the Trump campaign, and also the obstruction portion of that has to deal with the firing of James Comey and everything after that, as well as this case with Michael Cohen that just basically, we don't know if it ended in the Southern District of New York or if it spawned something completely new entirely. There's also the deposition of Stormy Daniels that can bring about some more evidence of wrongdoing by the president. And there's this emoluments case that was allowed to go forward in a federal court that basically asserts that Donald Trump has been using the presidency in order to enrich himself in his business. So let's take a step back. In 2016, during the election, we know that what is alleged is that the Trump campaign was working in coercion with Russia while Russia was actively doing many things to try to subvert our democracy. They were digging into voter rolls of up to 20 states. They were putting fake news out on social media. They were putting protests together to have protesters and counter-protesters and clash with each other. But we don't necessarily know how that fits in together with the Trump campaign. We do know that there was this Trump Tower meeting of which Paul Manafort, who is now sitting in a federal jail cell waiting for his sentencing and his next trial coming in September. And we also now know that Michael Cohen, who also has just pleaded guilty to 8 federal counts of crimes, is asserting that Donald Trump, A, knew about the Trump Tower meeting, B, was aware of the planning of that meeting, and C, actively was talking about what they could do to release emails through WikiLeaks in order to try to change the subject from his Access Hollywood grab him by the pussy tape. So, the biggest thing is we need to look at exactly what Michael Cohen could possibly have on the president. Because out of everything that's going on right now, he's possibly the most dangerous. When it comes to him, the things that are asserted, such as in the Steele dossier when it comes to Russia, is that Michael Cohen could have possibly paid hackers or anybody that had to deal with the electronic hacking of the DNC or the Podesta emails. And we also know that he was deeply involved in paying off the women for Donald Trump in order to not have to declare that he had made those payments to Karen McDougal and Stormy Daniels. When it comes to Michael Cohen, Remember this, because you're going to hear in the media from his lawyers, from Donald Trump's lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, and all these people like that, that Michael Cohen was just a guy that worked there at the Trump organization. He didn't do much, did some small deals for Donald Trump and everything like that. That's all false, completely false. If you just go back and do a little search on Michael Cohen, you'll figure out that he hooked up with Donald Trump in the early 2000s, that Donald Trump really didn't like to have him around, but once he found out that Michael Cohen had ties to people like Felix Sater, who has ties to Russian mobsters, and that he would literally do anything to protect Donald Trump brought him into his inner circle. And in doing so, he made him a key person who he dealt with when he had to get things done, essentially illegally. So, what can Michael Cohen possibly tell prosecutors? We have no clue. We do know that there is one payment that he requested from the Trump organization after Donald Trump was sworn in as president. That was $50,000 due to tech services during the election. Now, Michael Cohen wasn't supposed to be on the campaign. Michael Cohen was supposed to be essentially his fixer, somebody who tamped down on things that, were going to get out about Donald Trump. And what we do know is that Michael Cohen has been all over TV, basically saying how he wants to tell prosecutors everything that he knows. Here's the thing with Michael Cohen's agreement. Michael Cohen pled guilty to 8 charges without a cooperation agreement. He was basically pleading guilty to get less time. Now, prosecutors can talk to him and see what they want to work out with him for anything else that he might be involved in. So you hear all this stuff about, all these people that are copying plea deals, they're being forced into it and everything like that. Michael Cohen pleaded guilty on his own because he knew his crimes were going to bring him down in the end. And the thing about it is that now you've got other people around Donald Trump. David Pecker, which is a guy who ran the National Enquirer and a bunch of other tabloids, has just recently found out that he was granted immunity in the Michael Cohen deal to provide information on Donald Trump and the activities during the campaign. So we have no clue what's going on with that. We do know, lastly, that with that immunity deal, there is a safe that they had that kept all of Donald Trump's basically dirty deeds away so that they would never come to see the light of day. And now they're in the hands of the FBI. So, hold on to your seats. It is going to get very bumpy over the next month or so. And we don't know how Donald Trump is going to react. If anything, we know he hates when his name is out in the news when it comes to bad press and, possible investigations that could end his presidency. All right, everyone. So that is our show for this week. I'm going to try to keep you updated on anything new that comes about. At this point, you kind of have to just keep up with me. I'll be posting stuff to my Facebook. I'll be posting stuff to my Twitter. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. And just let me know what you think. If you have any questions about what's going on right now, just ask me. Hit me up on social media. I'll be glad to tell you and try to figure it out with you. Until next time, everyone, I will see you again. And thank you for watching another episode of NOBULL.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now.